252 million years ago, something happened on Earth so terrifying that it almost wiped out all life. Not an asteroid, not a war, not an ice age, something far worse. An event that killed 96% of all life in the oceans and 70% on land. And the most disturbing part? The same mechanism might be happening again. Imagine a world that had been stable for millions of years. All continents were joined into one massive landmass, Pangaea. On land, creatures ruled that most people today have never even heard of, not dinosaurs. They didn't exist yet. The dominant species were synapsids, ancestors of modern mammals. Massive predators with saber-like teeth as large as bears stood at the top of the food chain. Alongside them were huge herbivores resembling a mix between a hippo and a tank. And in the shadows, small, insignificant creatures the size of rats struggled to survive. From them one day would come dogs, cats, and humans. The oceans were even more alive. Massive coral systems thrived with biodiversity. Trilobites, which had survived for hundreds of millions of years and multiple mass extinctions, seemed almost immortal. The world was complex, stable, and resilient, and then it disappeared. The answer to what happened isn't in the sky, it lies beneath our feet. In what is now Siberia, the Earth's crust began to crack. But this wasn't a normal volcanic eruption, it was a rupture stretching thousands of kilometers, pouring out lava. Not for days, not for years, but for hundreds of thousands of years. Lava covered an area larger than all of Western Europe. Imagine an entire region where fire continuously pours out of the ground. The air becomes so hot that rocks begin to melt even before touching the magma. Ash from these eruptions spread across the planet, darkening the skies. But lava wasn't the worst part. The real killer was invisible. Massive amounts of gases were released into the atmosphere: carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and other toxic compounds. First came the darkness. Sulfur formed a layer that blocked sunlight. Temperatures dropped rapidly, triggering a volcanic winter. Plants died. Animals lost their food sources. Entire ecosystems began to collapse. But that was only the first odor. When the sulfur haze cleared, the carbon dioxide remained. And then came something much worse. Temperatures on Earth began to rise dramatically, by 8 to 10 degrees Celsius, a change so extreme that most life had no chance to adapt. The oceans warmed. And warm water cannot hold oxygen. Life in the oceans began to suffocate. Coral died first. Reef systems that had existed for millions of years collapsed. Then came the rest. The oceans turned into dead zones, and then came something even worse. In oxygen-deprived waters, bacteria began to thrive. These organisms produced hydrogen sulfide, a toxic gas deadly to most life. It began to rise from the oceans into the atmosphere. Some scientists believe the sky itself may have changed color, green or purple. Imagine a world with poisonous air, dead oceans, and a red glow of lava on the horizon. This was Earth. Hydrogen sulfide began destroying the ozone layer. The planet lost its protection from ultraviolet radiation. Life was exposed to deadly levels of radiation. Organisms were dying everywhere, on land, in water, and in the air. This wasn't a single catastrophe. It was a chain reaction that spiraled out of control. And then came another turning point. Magma moved through layers of coal and oil underground. These materials ignited. The planet literally set its own fuel reserves on fire. Even more greenhouse gases were released into the atmosphere. Temperatures kept rising. Earth didn't destroy itself in one moment. It destroyed itself slowly, from within. And the worst part? The extinction didn't happen just once. It came in two waves, separated by tens of thousands of years. The first wiped out most life. The second finished what remained. Life tried to recover and was wiped out again. After this catastrophe, Earth was unrecognizable. Forests vanished. Fungi took over, feeding on dead organic matter. The planet became a graveyard. For millions of years, life barely existed. And yet, something survived. Small, weak, hidden creatures, adaptable. They became the foundation of future life on Earth. From them came mammals, and eventually, us. And now, the most disturbing part. This wasn't caused by an asteroid. It wasn't a random cosmic event. It was driven by processes we understand: carbon dioxide, global warming, loss of oxygen in the oceans, the same processes we are witnessing today. The only difference is the speed. So the question is simple: will we learn from the past or repeat it?